We are back on Morning Trade Live. Let's go inside out now on Micron. The memory and storage stock is trading just below all-time highs and reports earnings after the close today. Analysts are expecting adjusted EPS to come in at $2.82 a share, with revenue coming in at just over $11 billion for the quarter. Shares are up nearly 175% from the April lows. Joining us now to take a closer look at Micron is Paul McCarthy, who is president at Microscope Capital. Thank you so much for joining us, Paul, this morning. What are you expecting to hear from Micron when we get this report card this afternoon? Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Sam. Thanks for having me on. I think that you'll probably see good news. The company did come out in August and raise their guidance on revenue margins and EPS. So that's unusual and more or less tells me that they're getting margin expansion and getting high demand for some of their products that, as you may know, they work with NVIDIA and AMD. So I think that it's expected they'll have a beat and raise after hours today, and I think the markets will be keen on what their CapEx spending is going to be over the next year to gauge growth of the overall sector, as well as hear about just how sales trends are going and what sort of customer wins they're getting. So it should be a good earnings report for the company.
Okay, will be good enough to justify the huge run-up we've seen in the stock, do you think?
Yeah, great question. So, I think that if you look at the PE, it's around 30. Some of the analysts out there put a forward PE of under 15. So that tells me that the market's pretty geared up for a lot of growth. The real thing I think will be on margin expansion. Are they getting more profitable as they get bigger? I think that the stock certainly had a run up. It's overbought. So the market knows that this is coming. So I think probably as long as the stock can stay above 130, you can be bullish on it. And I don't expect it to get to 130 anytime soon. I think that a range after earnings might be anywhere from 150 if it's negative to 180 if it's positive. And that if you go into next year, you'll probably see that the stock will get up into the 200s. So, but that's what makes this particular earnings, guidance and results today really important. We're seeing a lot of news in the semiconductor sector right now, and we want to see that Micron is backing up what we're hearing from NVIDIA and ChatGPT and OpenAI and whatnot. So it should be a really interesting call today.
Okay, the setup looks good. I mean, sitting up 2% higher, 168 and change ahead of this. You say you're looking for confirmation as far as the AI story, no doubt riding on the coattails of the NVIDIAs of the world. As I mentioned, the estimate's looking for just over $11 billion in revenue. I'm just wondering, if you look at the composition of that, what will be key to look out for as far as some of the metrics? Yeah, I mean,
Their new chips are the high bandwidth memory, also called HBM, and that's basically stacking DDRM chips, and they essentially have a product that's it's got better computer memory and processing, and it also, more importantly, uses less power. So we want to see that their next generation, the HBM4s, how they're doing, and what the volume shipping of the HBM3E, which is the current chip that they have out there. So, and we'll want to hear, exactly what kind of orders there are for them going down the road. So that's essentially what I think everyone's going to be keen on today.
Okay, so looking for the CapEx, you're thinking a beat and a raise as well, and keeping an eye on the HBM2 as far as that growth story. Paul, we've got to leave it there. Thank you so much for that as we look ahead to this report card. Paul McCarthy, president at Microscope Capital. Appreciate your time. Let's trade it now with Tom White, host of Fast Market. Very good morning to you, Tom. How are you looking in an example trade for Micron?
Yeah, Sam, implied volatility levels pretty elevated going into this report. The option market pricing in about a 9% move either way in the shares. So that's the way I kind of looked at this. With that, remember in early August, they did give an update, mid-quarter update, that they raised their guidance, and that's why I think you've seen, the expansion here in the stock. So I looked at a strategy that's don't be a hero type strategy here. First, where I'm going to take advantage of that high implied volatility levels. Going out to the September 26th weekly option, so really short-term positioning, earnings type play. 3 days to expiration. We're going to sell an out-of-the-money put vertical. We're going to sell the 160 strike put. And then buy the 155 strike put. So a short $5 wide neutral to bullish Put vertical, you're going to collect roughly about $1.50 credit on it. That's what you can make, $150 per spread with $350 at risk, but that's all the way below the 155 level. The break even on this, where you start to lose money, is below 158.50 over the next 3 days. That's about 6% below the current share price in Micron. So you got a probability of that short strike at the 160 being out of the money, which is what you want. You want the stock to be above that 160 level. A probability of finishing out of the money of about 65% on this short neutral to bullish put vertical.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks for getting us a look at Micron ahead of that earnings report, Tom White. I'll catch you a little bit later on.